Good, happy Sunday morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to Politics with Riley King. Let's begin. We have a big scheduled program this Sunday. We have lots of political news to get to all of you for this Sunday, so let's get started. First up, Booker, Delaney, de Blasio among candidates crisscrossing New Hampshire this weekend. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9, Jess Moran.
Candia Springs is New England's newest adventure park, featuring an aerial challenge course, all-new guided zipline tour, water park, water challenge course, and off-roading. One location for one low price. Minutes from Manchester and the seacoast. Visit CandiaSprings.com.
Hello, everybody!
Senator Cory Booker stopping by a home in Hampton today to speak with local Democrats about his vision for the future and defeating President Trump in 2020.
We're not going to beat him by showing the worst of who we are. We're going to beat him by showing the best of who we are.
Earlier this morning in Londonderry,
we love Londonderry!
Two presidential candidates walked in the Old Home Day Parade, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio and former Congressman John Delaney.
It's a wonderful parade, straight down the street. Lots of people out. It's not too hot, so it's perfect.
This is a joy. People are so welcoming, and they're having such a great time, and they're proud of their town. This is the kind of thing that makes you very proud to be an American.
All the candidates say these type of community events give them a chance to hear directly from Granite Staters.
As you can see, I've been going back and forth. It's just great. Because, it's funny, I go up and I shake people's hands, but they all tell me something.
This is why the New Hampshire primary is a beautiful thing, because it's not just TV ads and big rallies. You actually talk to everyday people, and they tell you what they're thinking and what they need. That's what democracy is supposed to be.
This is how you win elections, especially the Granite Stater way. It's not about big TV buys and all that. It's grassroots, connecting with people's heart and spirit.
While they focus on New Hampshire this weekend, the national stage is still being set. Cory Booker has made it into the next round of debates, while de Blasio and Delaney are still working to get there. In Hampton, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your 2020 New Hampshire candidate tracker for August 18, 2019. Let's see what candidates that are in New Hampshire today. First candidate, Michael Bennet. He has 3 events today in New Hampshire. His first event is speaking at the Hillsborough County Democrats Picnic in Greenfield, New Hampshire at 12 p.m. His second event is meet and greet in Hopkinton, New Hampshire at 2 p.m. And his third event is Education Town Hall at Southern New Hampshire University in Hooksett, New Hampshire at 4:30 p.m. Julian Castro, he has 2 events today in New Hampshire. His first event is a meet and greet in Bedford, New Hampshire at 9 a.m. His second event is speaking at the Hillsborough County Democrat Picnic in Greenfield, New Hampshire at 12:30 p.m. Bill de Blasio, he has 2 events today in New Hampshire. His first event is attends meet and greet with Concord Democrats at Gibson Bookstore in Concord, New Hampshire at 11 a.m. And his second event is attending Hillsborough County Democrats Picnic in Oak Park in Greenfield, New Hampshire at 12 p.m. John Delaney, he has 3 events today in New Hampshire. His first event, brunch with Sunapee voters at the Sunapee Library in Sunapee, New Hampshire at 9 a.m. His second event is attend Hillsborough County Democrat Picnic in Oak Park in Greenfield, New Hampshire at 12 p.m. And his third event is attending Stratford County Democrat Picnic in Rollinsford American Legion Park in Rollinsford, New Hampshire at 2:40 p.m. Amy Cullen-Bulcher, she has 4 events today in New Hampshire. Her first event is launching campaign canvass with Manchester Mayor Joyce Craig in Manchester, New Hampshire at 9:30 a.m. Then she is speaking at Hillsborough County Democrat Picnic in Greenfield, New Hampshire at 12 p.m. And then her third event is attending Stratford County Democrat Picnic in Rollinsford American Legion Park in Rollinsford, New Hampshire at 2:30 p.m. And then her fourth event is attend Hot Dish House Party at the home of State Rep Liz McCollin in Brentwood, New Hampshire at 4:30 p.m. Seth Moulton has one event today in New Hampshire, speaking at the Hillsborough County Democrat Picnic in Greenfield, New Hampshire at 2 p.m. Tim Ryan has one event happening today in New Hampshire, speaking at the Epping and Raymond Democrat Summer Barbecue at Whitegate Farm in Epping, New Hampshire at 2 p.m. And Andrew Yang has 3 events happening today in New Hampshire. His first event attending the Hillsborough County Democrat Picnic in Oak Park in Greenfield, New Hampshire at 12 p.m. His second event speaking at the Epping and Raymond Democrat Summer Barbecue at Whitegate Farm in Epping, New Hampshire at 2:30 p.m. And then his third event is Portsmouth Campaign Office Grand Opening in Portsmouth, New Hampshire at 5 p.m. And those are all the events for the candidates. If you want to see that full list, we will have that list on the Riley King Network Facebook page. Democratic candidate Yang hopes his ideas take hold in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
Out the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
With a spring in his step, businessman Andrew Yang works his crowd, hoping to skip ahead to the front of the Democratic field.
It's up to the people in New Hampshire to take a different vision to the rest of the country as soon as possible. First, a genuine understanding of the scope of our problems, and then second, real solutions.
Solutions that he says are the opposite of what President Trump offers.
To me, it was a massive red flag for our society, that our country was so desperate that we actually elected a narcissist reality TV star to be our president.
Friday night, the presidential candidate took questions at UNH School of Law for an ACLU discussion on civil liberties. Granite Staters are curious about his proposal to guarantee $1,000 a month to U.S. citizens.
And the first time you heard that, you're like, ha ha, that's a gimmick, that's too good to be true. But this is a deeply American idea that's been with us since our founding.
Yang was pressed on a big issue locally, bail reform, and what to do about mass incarceration.
So number one, we have to get rid of private prisons that have a profit motivation. Number two, we have to get rid of the punitive cash bail system that ends up criminalizing people for being poor.
His popularity is rising, and he just qualified for the third Democratic debate next month. Yang hopes his bold ideas take hold in New Hampshire.
So with your help, we can move the country not left, not right, but forward.
Tonight, Yang also met with voters in Plaistow. Tomorrow, he'll be in Nashua, Londonderry, New Durham, and Northampton. And he has 3 events on Sunday.
Okay, and there you go. In New Hampshire, Trump gave his blessings to Landowski run for U.S. Senate. President's former campaign manager considering joining GOP field to decide a challenger to Shaheen. Let's take a look at this video.
Zipline and off-road adventure destination in New England, along with great lodging, restaurants, and so much more in Lincoln Woodstock. Base camp at the beautiful White Mountains. Alpine Adventures, 300 acres of awesome. Visit alpinezipline.com.
And the first person that I put on the campaign, he was driving me wild. He said, I'm saying you can win, sir. You can win. I'm telling you, you can win. He loves this state. He's from this state. He said, you can win, sir. I'm just telling you. And I had him on for month after month. He'd come drive me crazy. He'd say, you can win, you can win, you can win. And finally, we said, let's give it a shot. And I had Corey, I had Hope, I had just a couple of people. We had a rather lean and mean staff. But Corey Lewandowski loves your state, loves New Hampshire. He was the first one that talked about us possibly winning the whole big ball game. And he's tough, and he's smart, and I'm hearing he's thinking about running for the Senate from New Hampshire. I don't know. I think it'd be tough to beat. I'll tell you one thing, he'll go into Washington and he's going to have you in mind. He's going to do a job if he does do it. So we'll see what happens. He hasn't made up his mind yet, but he would be fantastic. And I guess it's something you go back and you talk to your family, you talk to your wife, and you make a decision. They're all saying, are you going to support him? I said, I don't know if he's running. So Corey, let us know, please. If you don't mind. Let us know.
Okay, and there you go. Delaney to make 2 busy New Hampshire swings over the next 10 days. Former congressman in state this weekend and to return August 22nd, the 24th, and the 25th. Beto O'Rourke campaign adds 6 senior New Hampshire staffers, expands staff to 25. Staff expansion announced as O'Rourke campaign pushes back on reports that he'll spend less time campaigning in New Hampshire and Ohio. Former U.S. Rep. Beto O'Rourke has recently added 6 senior staffers to his New Hampshire campaign operation and has expanded its total paid staff to 25 people. Sununu vetoes Democrats' proposed changes to voting residency law. Governor Chris Sununu voted a state Senate bill Friday sponsored and approved by Democrats that would have given protection to political activists, college students, and military personnel who aren't residents of New Hampshire in order to allow them to vote in the state. Sununu vetoed SB 67, saying it would undermine HB 1264, a Republican bill he signed last year, restoring equality and fairness by ensuring all voters lived by the same legal requirements. HB 1264 changed New Hampshire RSA 21.60.6 in 21.6a by adding the female gender when describing an inhabit or resident and stuck the words for the identify future form a voter's principal place of physical as a dimensional loophole allowed college students, people who work but don't raise in the state, often called visiting professionals, and others to vote in the state even though they weren't residents. Democrats wanted for an identify future added back as well as including military personnel, a student of any institute of learning, or a person employed for a fixed term is not a resident for purpose of Title XXI of New Hampshire's statutes governing motor vehicles. They have criticized Republicans for the change, liking it to voters' passion, even though most students and visitors can file an absentee ballot at their homes. SB 67 was another in a series of laws Democrats had hoped to amend, alter, or rescind changes to the Dementsalo law approved in previous sessions that Sununu has voted. 2020 hopeful Beto O'Rourke visited an Arkansas gun show to talk about gun control. Two weeks after his hometown of El Paso, Texas was the site of a mass shooting, 2020 presidential hopeful Beto O'Rourke made an unannounced visit to a gun show in central Arkansas to speak with gun buyers and sellers about what can be done to stop gun violence in America. And that does it for this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. I hope you all enjoyed this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and have a great week ahead of you. And I'll see you back here next Sunday for another edition of Politics with Riley King. Goodbye, everyone.